Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the mysteries and complexities of the human mind. In today's video, we'll be delving into the fascinating topic of when people lose their mind. We've all heard stories of individuals experiencing temporary or even permanent insanity, often triggered by traumatic events, mental illness, or drug use. But what really happens in the brain when someone loses their grip on reality? And how can we better understand and support those who are going through such a difficult experience? Join us as we explore these questions and more, in this thought-provoking video on when people lose their mind.
New details on a deadly shooting in Wilkinsburg. Police arrested 3 suspects in the murder of 27-year-old Keiauna Davis. She was shot while she walked on Laketon Road this week. Police say a vehicle pulled up alongside her, and then 2 men got out, robbed her, and then shot her. Police arrested Keiauna Scott, Dane Taylor, and Laya Whitley.
Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about the tragic death of Keiauna Davis, a loving mother of 2 daughters. Keiauna's story is one that needs to be told, and we want to honor her memory by sharing it with you. Keiauna Davis was a 27-year-old mother of 2 beautiful daughters. She was a hardworking woman who loved her family and was committed to providing for them. She was from Monessen, Pennsylvania and went to Monessen High School but moved to Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania later on in life. Keiauna's family and friends describe her as a loving and caring person who would do anything for her children. She was also an active member of her community, volunteering her time and resources to help those in need. Her death has left a void in the lives of those who knew her, and her absence will be deeply felt. It's never a good idea to talk about money. And in a Pennsylvania woman's case it turned out to be fatal. 27-year-old Keiauna Lynette Davis didn't expect that her dollar store co-worker would target her after finding out that the mother of 2 was expecting a large tax refund. That brought her to the attention of Laya Whitley, her co-worker, who decided that $7,000 was a temptation she couldn't resist. Sadly, these events took place in Wilkinsburg, the same Pennsylvania town, near Pittsburgh, where several family members were shot dead at a backyard cookout years ago. Davis had recently received her tax refund, and on February 22, 2018, Davis and Whitley were co-workers at Dollar General. During the afternoon, Davis's grandmother came to the store to drop off $3,000 of Davis's income tax return, which she planned to buy things for her daughter's upcoming birthday. When Whitley found out, she texted her co-defendant, Dane Taylor, and told him that her co-worker Davis had a large amount of cash on her. This led to Taylor enlisting another co-defendant, Keiauna Scott, to drive him to the store and wait for Davis to leave. Later that afternoon, while Davis and Whitley smoked a cigarette in front of the store, Scott and Taylor were waiting behind the store in Scott's parked car. When Davis left, Whitley sent a text message to alert Scott and Taylor because they could not see the front of the store. As Davis walked down the street, Scott drove past her and parked alongside the road. Scott then got out and pretended he was having car trouble. Once Davis reached the car, Taylor rushed out in a ski mask and wrestled her to the ground. When she would not give up her purse, Taylor pulled out a handgun and shot her twice. Taylor then took the purse, ran back to the car and fled with Scott. Davis was pronounced dead at the hospital, having suffered a contact wound to her hip that lacerated her right iliac artery. Whitley, meanwhile, received her portion of the robbery proceeds later that night after Scott and Taylor spent theirs on clothes. Davis was taken to UPMC Presbyterian, where she was pronounced dead within an hour, according to police. The death of Keiauna Davis had a profound impact on the Wilkinsburg community. Friends, family, and fellow students were devastated by the loss of such a bright and promising young woman. The community came together to mourn her passing and to demand justice for her and her family. According to Tribune Review news partner Taylor paid Scott $800, according to police. Investigators talked to witnesses and used surveillance footage to identify the Corolla and trace it back to Scott, who talked to police and confessed his role, according to the affidavit. Through Scott, detectives identified Whitley. They used texts on Whitley's phone and social media posts to identify HD as Taylor. Members of the fugitive squad with the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office apprehended the 3 people wanted for the shooting death of a Wilkinsburg woman. Suspected shooter Dane James Taylor was discovered hiding in a North Braddock residence at 12:21 p.m. Suspected co-defendants Laya Whitley and Dane Taylor were also apprehended and were held in the Allegheny County Jail with criminal homicide, robbery and conspiracy. Taylor also is charged with carrying a firearm without a license, Allegheny County Police said. On July 16, 2019, Whitley entered into a negotiated plea agreement in which she agreed to plead to third-degree murder, robbery, conspiracy, criminal use of communication facility and tampering, and was sentenced that same day to serve 20 to 50 years imprisonment. Taylor reached a similar plea agreement for 30 to 60 years and went through his on-record colloquy at the same time as Whitley. During the colloquy, Taylor's counsel stated that Taylor was entering with the caveat that there was no testimony to be offered by Mr. Taylor against any of the other co-defendants. Keiauna Scott, the driver, refused to take a plea deal and decided to take his charges to trial and was sentenced to life in prison, plus an additional 12 to 24 years. In the end, the senseless violence that took Keiauna's life serves as a reminder of the need for greater efforts to prevent gun violence and to address the root causes that lead to these tragedies. Keiauna's murder left a lasting impact on her community. It served as a sobering reminder of the senseless violence that can occur over nothing, and the importance of seeking justice for victims and their families. It also highlighted the resilience and strength of Keiauna's loved ones, who came together to support each other and honor her memory. As time goes on, Keiauna's legacy lives on through the memories of those who knew her and the impact she made during her short life. Our hearts go out to Keiauna's family and loved ones, and we hope that her memory will inspire positive change in the world. Thank you for watching today's video. We hope that this story raises awareness about the issue of senseless gun violence and encourages everyone to speak out if they suspect anything out of the ordinary. Let's all work together to protect our community and ensure that justice is served for those who have been victimized.